So right now we have a pretty big war between Denmark and Scotland versus the Netherlands. This is big because we might see England get involved.
Well, I guess I should say Great Britain because this is the British mod, but nonetheless, this could be a huge fall in Western Europe right now. Brussels at 17 pop, Amsterdam at 21 pop, Rotterdam at 15 pop. I mean, these are big cities, and it's really keeping William in a very substantial area, I guess, in the info addicts because of all the population he has. Obviously, that means, a lot of manufactured goods. That means a lot of science, which is a big one. Now, obviously, if these cities get conquered, then more than likely, not more than likely, half the population will die. But either way, it's still a big pickup for someone like Denmark, someone like the Scottish, even if it's the British that join in. I mean, the British could really, really utilize this because the British already are kind of a bigger sort of populated city, I guess, empire. Leeds, Manchester, London, Birmingham, they're all pretty big cities. Not as big as William's cities, but obviously, they could be really, really useful. Denmark really needs this. I mean, the whole Danish-Scottish alliance, they both desperately need to take something here. Rotterdam would be huge because it would open back up an access point from the northern British Isles back towards Copenhagen, which is kind of crucial right now because this is the core of the Danish Empire right here. And then we have a few Scottish colonies all throughout Scandinavia. They really, really need to take this over. But it's going to be close. It's going to be tough either way, no matter what they do. They have the Scottish Highlander are around, and Scotland has finally decided to attack with that massive fleet that they had located right off their capital, right off the coast of their capital. We'll see if they can utilize this to the best of their ability. The problem is, it looks like they're going to attack Amsterdam. That should be the second city they attack. They need to take Rotterdam first. Like I said, getting access back to Copenhagen would be pretty crucial. Although, let's keep in mind that Norway is here, and I guess they have mortars with so they can move throughout the Oslo Sea. I guess in this world, this would be, I guess, something like the Oslo Sea or something like that. I don't know. I'm making stuff up now, but either way, it would still be a pretty good deal, at least for land units to land in Rotterdam to make it over and maybe reinforce something like Lodz or whatever this city is called in continental Europe. We have Assyria and France piecing out. Okay, that is interesting. That means the Hittites have pieced out, and let's remind everybody. The civs with, Assyria is practically, Milan, that saves Milan. I forgot about that. Assyria and Milan are the weakest team we have right now, since Harun al-Rashid and the Sumer are both doing better than that team combined. I mean, that is incredible. That is pretty impressive, I must say. Okay, so the Netherlands and the Huns have pieced out. Assyria and the Huns have pieced out. So, kind of nothing so far. Right now, we're watching the Netherlands. We want to see if the Netherlands piece out. The Netherlands and Denmark. I don't think so because this war has just begun. So it's unlikely, I think. We have to wait till Scotland processes their turn. Let's see where they move. There's a little bit of tension going on up here. Okay, so they kind of split off. Some went towards Rotterdam, some didn't. But the Netherlands are pretty much out of reinforcements in their northern city, which is big. This Dutch rifleman is in the red, unless he kind of instant heals, which I think it's possible. But either way, it's not going to do enough damage. There's already a Danish ironclad here, so who's going to take this city? Will it be Denmark or will it be Scotland? I do think that there is a pretty significant difference between the two civs. It's really interesting. Even though they might be on the same team, sometimes it's better for another civ to take over a city than the other, I guess. So it actually would be, I think, beneficial for Harold to grab the city for himself. Let's see if he's able to do it. He's got a cannon attack. Nope, he did not do it, which means that it will go to Scotland. Either way, it's not that big of a deal, I guess, if I really think about it, because Scotland has all these colonies out here anyways, and yeah, that's not that drastic of a difference. Let's see what they do to combat against this. They definitely destroyed one unit, I believe, but that will not be enough. There's going to be 2 melee attacks that the Scots are going to do, and more than likely, I think that is it. They're also going to have, that is a Netherland Gatling gun. Well, they're going to have a frigate range attack. I think this will be enough. Not entirely sure, though. They could always move this other frigate over towards the north. Let's see if they can take it over. Bam! They did not. So, clearly, they are too focused, I think, on Amsterdam at the moment. So, I think it'll go back to Denmark then. It will go back to Denmark, it looks like. possibly, unless there's a peace deal. Now imagine this. Imagine the Netherlands really falling hard here and then giving up a city to get out of the war. That would be huge because of the massive population in each one of these settlements. That would be a big deal, and I think it's definitely a possibility. This is not going to be good because the Netherlands' teammates, Armenia, had a very successful war against the Huns, and that will no longer happen. Or that will kind of, this is going to really kind of screw the team up a little bit, William, failing out here in Western Europe. Okay, well, let's see if he can get the job done. Let's see, there's also more reinforcements coming from some of the colonies in Scandinavia. I guess you could argue if it's technically I don't know if you could call it a colony if it's in the same continent. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Denmark took it over, which means that there's going to be a very big focus on Amsterdam. That's one thing the AI seems to be good at targeting. Like, obviously, the targeting the AI was doing previously was kind of all split between Rotterdam and Amsterdam. That was probably a bad idea. It seems like there's a pretty general consensus by both of these AI teams that they're going to focus on Amsterdam, which should make things easier because if every unit is rushing after this capital, yeah, that will obviously be a pretty big deal. So as William continues to lose more units, what does Great Britain do? What does Victoria do? I almost said, what does Elizabeth do? This is Queen Victoria. She seems to be stacking the borders. Best bet, if Great Britain were to go to war, then there's pretty much nothing William can do. He's probably going to be destroyed. But the question would be who would take over Amsterdam. I do still think that there would be a possibility that Queen Victoria could maybe squeeze in here. Maybe a mistake or two and squeeze into this tile. Obviously, they do have their unique units, which I'm unsure what these things are called at the moment. But they do have their redcoats. There you go. And they might be able to land on continental Europe and have a pretty good job. Actually, you know what? Let's do the international games. I promised that I would try to enact that just to see what happens. So this is going to be gold. We'll get 100% extra tourism, which doesn't really matter in this victory scenario. Extra happiness and one-time... Okay, so really this doesn't matter. One-time influence with city-states, that doesn't matter. Well, still, I'm interested to see who wins. And some people will get some extra happiness, which, you know, I mean, who knows? The AI might need that extra happiness. I don't know. Not so much on immoral difficulty, but we'll see. Okay, so I need to relook at the Portuguese alliance because I always forget about who Portugal is allied to. Obviously to Ahmad. There they are. To the Umayyad. So that means that... So Russia doesn't matter. Russia... Oh, actually, yes, because the Umayyad did manage to get up a few settlements here in eastern Russia. So these will probably fall, more than likely. But Egypt is going to attack across the Red Sea again and go after the Umayyad. Was Arabia already going after them? I guess they were. I mean, I hadn't noticed that. The Middle East is such an interesting region. It's going to be very entertaining to watch the Middle East play out. But either way, the Umayyad are probably going to lose these two cities here. It's probably very likely. Although, you know, Russia is all scattered all over the place. I know that they're still continuing to try to take over Prussia, and we still have kind of a battle between the Goths, which the Goths are actually slightly coming back. I mean, they've got some units here. They might have some luck. It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. They're struggling. They're definitely struggling. There might be a lot of units, but with only frigates. Now, if everyone had battleships, it'd be a little bit easier. There's a lot of rough terrain, though, in northern Amsterdam, which is keeping William safe for now. People are going to have to attack with their land forces, which actually William still remains. He still has, I think, an advantage in his land forces. That is for now. Obviously, a lot of range units will be doing quite a bit of damage. All the range units out here in the seas will be doing a lot of damage to the land units protecting Amsterdam at the moment. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more reinforcements. Here's a Scottish Highlander. We also see... Ooh... Another ideology. Okay, so we have Babylon and Norway, which doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't think that war really matters because I don't think they have anything together. Hey, the Goths are going in for the attack. Look at that. They might be able to reconquer their city. Possibly. Yeah, the Babylonians are already in a pretty messy situation, no matter what. Sweden and the Huns have peaced out. Okay. Do we see anything else? Are the Egyptians moving? The Egyptians are moving. I don't think Arabia's at war with the Umayyad. I think they're just moving through the territory. If they were at war, we would have already seen several attacks against these guys. So now we have a war. Babylon's going to go after the Umayyad too. So there's clearly a coalition occurring right before our eyes. So the Babylonians need to get open borders through the Sumer, though, because most of their units are here in Akkada. Is it Akkada? Something like that. Babylon. Oh, bam. Whoa. Okay, so Babylon. Remember, Babylon is allied to Norway, which means that Denmark and Scotland are now in a war with Norway. Again, this is even better for Queen Victoria to get involved because now they're probably going to have to pull back. They're probably going to have to pull back and focus on Oslo. Oslo will be a much easier city to take once you fight through all these units because there's a lot more chances to melee attack the city. Amsterdam is kind of in like a gulf here, a very small peninsula almost, or just off of a peninsula, which is a big problem. How are the units doing? We have a lot of Danish units here stationed in continental Europe, but they're not progressing forward. And Denmark is going to need to bring in everything now. I don't think this is going to happen, but if Denmark and Scotland really get their stuff together and they get maybe a little bit lucky, they could easily become the most powerful in Western Europe. Easily. They take over Amsterdam here, and then they take over Oslo, and bam, we've got ourselves a new power in Western Europe. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's very, very unlikely. Carthage and Spain, Carthage and Assyria. So people are peacing out with Carthage. Everyone has been at war with Carthage for a really long time. Sweden and Lithuania finally done with the Austria Hungary war, which I still think Austria Hungary could rise to the occasion and maybe really radically change the way we look at the political geography so far in continental Europe. I think they could, but they just haven't declared the right wars. Right now would be the time to attack the Goths once again. And boom, look at that. The Goths making a slight comeback. That is very interesting. That's something that we don't normally see. While seeing a great power like the Goths and the Greeks fall like that is something we definitely have never seen before. But this is interesting, making a small gain back, taking back one of their cities. We'll see if they can continue to make that progress. The problem is I'm pretty sure Austria is going to declare war. And that will be, I think, the final nail in the coffin for at least the Goths. The Greeks are going to be okay as long as Egypt stays distracted by the Umayyad. How are the Babylonians doing? Babylonians doing okay. Looks like the Babylonians are at war with the Assyrians. I don't remember. That must have happened last video. But they're going to need to battle through that. And then once they get through there, they could probably go after the former Assyrian capital. Assur, I think? Assur? Something like that. These Umayyad cities are still doing okay. I really think that the forces that Russia and Novgorod once had have been pretty depleted at this point. Oh, Norway's going after this Scottish city. They better get ready. The problem is with Norway, though, is that their fleet is divided. One's going after Rotterdam, one's going after the Scottish city. That is not the combination you want to do. That's best. Luckily for William, he's going to hold on to Amsterdam. He is going to hold on to this city because pretty much most of the fleet off the coast of Amsterdam has scattered. So why isn't Queen Victoria going after this opportunity? He's got a great opportunity here. Portugal is building up some units. Good for Portugal. Do we see anything else, though? No. Spain has a lot of forces, too. I don't know what that team is doing. That team is very good. You know what? Norway might actually be able to take this over. That's kind of likely. They've got a privateer. They've got 2 privateers here. Several ranged attacks from off the coast. That city's going to fall. I don't know if they're going to keep a hold of that city because I'm sure reinforcements will be arriving quickly. More than likely. Let's see if Sweden now decides to join in. That could be another possibility. That's another very likely possibility. All I want to know is what the British and the Spanish are going to do. They're so strong. I want to see them join in on something. I guess I want to see what Austria and Hungary are going to do as well. And the Goths are going to try to make some more progress, going back after their other city. They've clearly shown that Ravenna. Is it Ravenna? I was about to say they've clearly shown that they can defend Ravenna without any sort of units, almost no units here, but maybe that's going to change. There's going to be a lot of artillery attacks, even a cannon attack. That might not last for that much longer. And the Huns desperately need another city. After being rampaged by the Armenians, the Goths need to do something. Luckily for them, the Russians and Novgorod are completely distracted at the moment, still trying to take over Prussia. Ooh, they didn't get the job done here, but they will next turn. Norway will more than likely take this city over next turn, although there is a land attack from Scotland going after Oslo. And if they take this city over first, then Norway's done. They're gone. This is their only city they have. So all their units are going to vanish. You know, having teams on might be interesting if we kept on... If we're going to play with teams, it might be interesting to keep the complete kills mechanic. We never thought about that. That might be... I really don't like it, and that seems like it's going to just make things even more confusing, but that's kind of cool. I never thought about that. Because imagine Oslo gets taken, but then there's still this fleet that is kind of technically under the control of Nebuchadnezzar in the North Sea. I mean, I don't know how much he's going to really be able to help, but if we were to return with teams that were based more regionally, instead of having teams across the map teaming up, that might be kind of an interesting scenario. Seeing, like, you know, Norway with... I think I might try that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that might be interesting. The Sumer have pieced out with Portugal. So it looks like the Umayyad are going to be safe from... Oh, bam, they did take it over, so it's a little bit too late. We'll see if the land units can take that back for Scotland. And here go the Egyptians. Oh, man. The Egyptians are looking good. Arabia and the Sumer. The Sumer declaring war on Arabia, I should say that. Now, this is the... What is this? This is the second time they declared this war. And Arabia is actually caught with their pants down. I'm sure I could have used a better metaphor for that, but they pretty much are, though. I mean, because, look, the Arabians were, I don't know, trekking across the Arabian desert, going up towards Hittite territory. Now, they're going to have to run all the way back down south. Luckily for them, the Sumer are pretty far away, too. So they will more than likely be able to get there in time. And the Sumer AI has shown that they have trouble getting towards Arabian lands. That was why the first war had ended. Bam. And once again, the Egyptians grab another city. This was the Umayyad capital. That's a big, big deal. The Egyptians are looking so good, and it's just so strange to see this because the Moors are doing horribly. And I want to see what will happen. Oh, Scotland grabbed that city back in Scandinavia. I want to see what would happen if the Moors fall. And if it's just a very single Egypt. That's it. Can they still win? Could they still beat someone like Russia and Novgorod? Denmark continuing to attack for Amsterdam? Clearly they don't care about the siege going on in Scandinavia for Oslo. Anyways, guys, looks like I'm going to have to stop right there. We'll see if the siege of Oslo begins, because it really technically hasn't begun. Still a few more units need to be cleaned up here, but you know, maybe Sweden will attack. Sweden could definitely help out a lot for attacking Oslo or pushing the Scottish out of their region. Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.